Hello everyone and welcome to another Timeless video. So today we're going to be taking a look at Mono Black Belcher deck in Timeless format. So a lot of you guys have been asking for Belcher deck, and I've actually ran into a few people running Mono Black Belcher and I got the inspiration from there. And I think this deck is actually pretty sick. So what makes this deck really sick is the fact that we can actually play with the scam plan. Now this wasn't possible before Modern Horizon 3 because we got a lot of MDFC lands that are also black cards, and they also come in untapped. So Grief now just becomes insane because all of your lands pitch to the Grief. And amongst those lands, Malakir's Rebirth happens to be one of the cards that you can use to scam with Grief. So you can pitch a land, play the Grief, Malakir's Rebirth, or Reanimate on a single turn, and then get rid of a card, clear out the way for the Goblin Charbelcher, Necropotence, or even Necrodominance. Necrodominance in the deck is going to be our 5th and 6th copy of Necropotence. Necropotence is generally going to be better than the Necrodominance, but there are some fringe cases where the Necrodominance is going to be better because we are also playing 2 copies of Sheldred. If the Necropotence or the Necrodominance gets shut down with things like Pithing Needle or Flute, you can even besiege the mirror into Goblin Charbelcher, and that's going to be our primary win con. We're going to Dark Ritual into Goblin Charbelcher or Dark Ritual into Besiege the Mirror and just straight up win the game against Boros energies that are going around at the moment. So having said that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Timeless Special 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's hop on over. Ooh, number 11. Isn't this a funny hand, isn't it? Oh, that's sick. I can even Malakir's Rebirth? Hold up. Hold the phone here. This hand is sick. This hand is pretty sick. So I think we can just give them Galvanic Discharge and Swords, right? Hey, there's another Grief. Funny, funny. So we slow them down, right? And we just Goblin Charbelcher. I mean, we do actually have to draw additional land for that to happen, but... Also, my opponent healed me. There we go. My opponent's like, why do they have 3 copies of Fell the Profane? Now, if my opponent can kill me, that would be crazy. Let's just do this too, so that they don't have a Static Prison in hand. Nice. Okay, so Meathook Massacre's in, Path to Peril's in, Fatal Push's in. Seems good. Think I'm gonna cut a copy of a Goblin Charbelcher. I don't know, like, is Grief still the GOAT in this matchup? Just because I'm playing Goblin Charbelcher. I mean, I did cut Goblin Charbelcher as a result, going into game 2 and 3. I don't know. But the thing is, like, comboing is really strong against these kind of decks, so I don't know. Going second with the Grief is also kind of a... I don't know. Am I supposed to cut a Grief? I feel like you're not supposed to. Let's cut things like maybe Reanimates. We're gonna go like all in on the combo. Cut a Sheoldred. Maybe you're supposed to cut a Grief. Well, well, well. If it isn't Dark Ritual into Mihawk Massacre. Let's see. So they're gonna play Ocelot Pride next turn. I think I'm supposed to actually get rid of a Goblin Bombardment. So I can get down on Mihawk Massacre safely. I'm also not sure if I'm supposed to just go Charbelcher here, honestly. I think I'm not supposed to. Because if I go Charbelcher, I don't have an untapped land for next turn. So it's probably better to just Mihawk Massacre next turn. Let's see what they get. A land. And I'll get back all the life that I lost because... probably more. Ooh, Guide of Souls was actually really nice. That's a really good card because now I'd have to Dark Ritual into Mihawk Massacre, right? That's a lot of life. They're going for another Unstable Amulet. Must be pretty desperate in trying to stop this Goblin Charbelcher here. I think I go for Demonic Tutor or Dark Ritual. 3. Can I take this back? Oh man, I don't think I can. Well, because I messed up, let's go with the Goblin Charbelcher. Because what I was actually supposed to do was play the Malakir's Rebirth and then Demonic Tutor for a Dark Ritual so that I can go Demonic Tutor, so I can go Dark Ritual into Goblin Charbelcher next turn. But I didn't do it, so let's get punished here.
It's not perfect, but we have peace.
Yep. We got punished severely, right? So Now we grab Dark Ritual, so we can go Dark Ritual into Beseech the Mirror for Belcher next turn. And we're gonna win the game. Dark Ritual. Bargain. Goblin Charbelcher. Boom. GG's. That was a sick game. Even though I did misplay a bit, so feels kind of bad about that, but we got there in the end. I mean, Necropotence. I wonder if this hand is even fast enough. This is probably energy, right? Like, I don't know. Like, without... let's try it. Okay. One, two, three, four. So we already have 4 untapped lands, so let's save the Malakir's Rebirth. Necropotence isn't like Necrodominance, right? It doesn't exile the card that goes into the graveyard. It's only when you discard. Necrodominance says whenever a card goes into your graveyard. Let's just play this now. I wonder if I should even play Necropotence. Because, I mean, I have a Sheoldred. I don't know. Ooh, Birthing Ritual. Pretty sick. Renegade Rallier. Also pretty sick. Let's just go for the combo. Let's try to look for the combo. Obviously, this is kind of risky, but we have 2 blockers, so I'm hoping that we get enough to win the game here. I don't think I can go below... Because I have to also take 3 damage, right? So I'm not really sure. Ooh, that's bad. I think we lost here. Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual. 3, 5, 6, 7. So I can go Sheoldred, Necrodominance, draw some cards. Block, block, take 2 damage. Hopefully. And then draw 5. Okay. Oh, they got the... They're so lucky. They're so lucky they got the Goblin Bombardment there. Insane. They're so lucky that they drew a Goblin Bombardment with the Amped Raptor. Otherwise, we would have got so much life with the Necrodominus because we can go Dark Ritual, Shaldred's Edict, a Shaldred into Necrodominus. But yeah, they had to get the Goblin Bombardment. Otherwise, I think they would have actually lost the game. Pretty insane. So, Mihawk Massacre, Path of Pearl, Fatal Push, Cut 2 Grief, Cut Reanimates. And let's also go down on a copy of Another Grief. Yeah, that's insane. My opponent literally dodging the bullet like no biggie. This hand doesn't really have anything. This hand does. So I guess I'm just going to Fatal Push into Demonic Tutor next turn. That was insane. That last game was insane. My opponent casually just dodging a bullet. Ooh, Mihawk Massacre. Might want to wait until I have 4 mana though. 4 lands on the battlefield. Did I win? 5, 6. Nope. 3, 5, 6, right? I need 1 more mana, right? To activate this?
May our axes strike as one.
Okay. We go to game 3. This combo deck is just so good against these kind of decks. I might want to consider maybe having more Griefs, just because now that they've seen the Goblin Belcher, they might actually bring some hate cards. And since we're going into game 3, they didn't see my Mihawk Massacre though. What do I take out though? Maybe a copy of a Shieldred. I'll try this. We got Necropotence plus March, but again, we don't have... Oh, we also have a... Huh, this hand actually might be fire. Although I am... do I want to go down to 1 lands? It's... 1 land is... Oh? Hold up. I might just go Necropotence. So I'm gonna do this. to get rid of Disruptor Flute. And I'm going to Necropons. Draw a bunch of cards. I'll draw 5. And now we have March. And we have a Charbelcher. Wow, this hand is actually insane. This hand is insane. Let's get rid of a Demonic. No, let's get rid of a Kozilek. What's my play next turn? I think I'm just going to... Maybe I think I'm going Grief into Demonic Tutor. So I can win next turn. Okay, so that's what they did. So currently I'm drawing 3. And I'm going to be playing Grief. I think I'm going... Let me see here. So even if I go Demonic Tutor here, all I have is 6 mana next turn, so I can't Charbelcher. So I think it's actually just better to Grief. And then we draw a bunch of cards. Let's get rid of Kozilek and another Charbelcher. They're thinking about giving back the Necropons. Then essentially the Static Prison actually did nothing, right? Oh, that is actually a good card. Well done. That is definitely a card that stops the Dark Ritual. We'll draw 3 to see if we can find lands. Since we have March. We might have to march our own Grief here. Let's actually go down to 1. Okay, we got 2 lands. Dark Ritual is essentially useless now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then leave up a Fatal Push. I think that's what I'll do. Nice pickup. Static Prison. Boom, boom. So these are both tap lands, right? We'll draw 4. Another Belcher. I'll just do this. Oh, it still told me to discard. Why does my opponent keep doing this? They keep using Static Prison to deny the Necropons, but then they give it back. So like, oh shoot. What a pickup. I still have 1 Sheoldred left in the deck. And I can still aggro my opponent down with like Griefs and stuff. But my life total is not in a good spot. One, 2, 3, 4. This is everything I can do. Useless. Good. Okay. We're actually chilling. So I can get back only a Grief. So I think I'm playing this for sure, just to aggro my opponent down. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what am I looking for at the moment? Should I just get rid of this Bogart Trawler? Just to see what I get? Then we should do it for 9. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we can besiege for Sheoldred. We got a Mihawk Massacre. Okay. We're in a tight spot. I should have gotten rid of a Kozilek there. We are definitely in a tight spot here. Okay, so we're gonna sacrifice the Necro since we don't have any life gain. So we have to put the Sheoldred into my hand. Guide of Souls. Might have to Mihawk Massacre the Guide of Souls. I don't know. Oh wait, they don't have a basic, so this is a 3 mana. Oh my god. Wait, how did my... Wait, now that I think about it, when I had a Necro, how did my Belcher ever land into the graveyard? Is it because they kept static prisoning? I think that must be it. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know how my Belcher got there. Loris again. You love to see it every game. It's just Loris. Oh, what's this? It's not a deck that I thought it was gonna be. So we're playing against the Dimir Tempo. It's gonna be a little bit hard. Soren's Ransom. Necro Dominance. Necro Dominance. It's a lot of discard spells my opponent's doing. My opponent's also tapping out for the turn, so I get a free Necro Dominance here with some March. Wait, they got rid of that instead of, what? Let's just jam this in because I also have a Besiege the Mirror. Pay 0. I could have actually drawn there. Because they didn't flash in the Orcish Bowmaster, right? It's a Grixis, so they could have a Lightning Bolt, so I guess it's actually for the better. Dot sees again. Commit. My opponent's being very annoying. Yeah, I should have definitely drawn. Oh my god. How many bounce spells do you play? Just... Oh my god. How good is a ley line? I guess pretty good. The rest is also pretty good. This should be a good matchup because we have 4 copies of Grief. I think we mulligan into a Grief here. What do we do now? I'm gonna cut a copy of a Goblin Charbelcher. Maybe this is not a Leyline of the Void game because I can't really sideboard these out. I think other cards are just better. Yeah, let's go down on a copy of Goblin Charbelcher. I think against like a tempo control deck, you're supposed to sideboard that out. Ooh, we can't Grief on turn 1. What a scam. Me getting scammed by my own deck? Untap land. Scammed? Super scammed. Well, at least I have it here. I might just reanimate. Yeah, I think I might just reanimate this instead of Malakir's Rebirth. Because I need lands, right? I mean, I could just go... Necropons here, to be fair, like, to be completely honest with you, probably just going Necropons here is probably for the better. Let's see what they have first. So let's get rid of a drown. Okay, so what's the deal? Am I necroponsing or what? I'll go necropons. I'll just draw 6. Land, nice. Dark Ritual, nice. Let's get rid of a Necropons. I need to keep the March. So if I go land, Dark Ritual, maybe I do have to get rid of a March here. Drown is also not very good against the stack, right? Let us reanimate the grief. They play out the Bowmaster. How many cards in the yard? 3. If I put the Sauron's Ransom, I think we just get rid of a dig here. Nah, I think it's actually Sauron's Ransom. And then we go this into the Belcher. I mean, I could just grief again, to be honest with you. What to do? I feel like I want to get some life. Pitting Needle. They have to do it on the Belcher, though. Funny enough. Okay, so they named the Belcher. That's crazy that they actually drew that just in time. Let's go grief. Ooh, Sheoldred. That's a win con. Three, 4, 5, 6. Am I playing Sheoldred next? Or am I just tough game. Give Tamio. I don't know if my opponent actually had like... Oh no. Now we're on a clock because of that card. Ooh, that's actually bad. We need an Orcish Bowmaster. That's actually really bad. Ooh, that's really bad. We might actually have lost this one because of that. My plan was to play the Sheoldred, but I completely forgot that this thing does that, making cars unable to block. So I have to like draw into something that can somehow get me out of this. Yeah, GG's. Leyline seems good. Yeah, Leyline seems good. Leyline actually seems very good. I think we threw the game by discarding one of our March. Unfortunately, that was an error there. Interesting. I'm gonna go down on 2 Kozileks. Maybe even a Bowmaster. I think I played that poorly. Wow. 0 lands? That's a surprise. So we have to reanimate here. Okay, get rid of a surgical. That mana drain is actually pretty bad. How do I get out of this? That's a really strong 2-card hand. So I would need to get something like a Dark Ritual, perhaps? Yeah, Dark Ritual is probably going to be the best card to get. Orcish Bowmaster, that's not going to do it. Okay, we have a bit of a situation. I don't think I'm actually comfortable playing this Orcish Bowmaster because it's only good if I draw a land, but I don't know if I'm gonna draw a land. So it was a tap land. So should I play this Bowmaster now? Because I mean, opponent is pretty low. And they can't like quite...
If you need me, I'll be in the library.
draw cards with it. Hogwarts Mauling is kind of sick, but I think we just do this. They can't attack with Tamio, there's no way. Another grief. That's sick. I think we just play patient. Archmage Charm. I think we just... Can they have... Orc Army Token isn't a legendary, huh? Will my opponent lose to 1 card? I could technically grieve into Necrodominance. It's a thing that we can do. I just don't want to give them mana to get back Loris in a single turn, right? I think we just keep playing lands, so if we draw Belcher, we can just win the game. Should I have attacked with the Orcish Bowmaster? Was that a mistake? No, they had a drawn anyways. So actually it wouldn't have mattered. But they can't crack at the moment. So they lost, right? Okay, that was a pretty poorly played game, I'm not gonna lie, but we got there. I think there's multiple things I could have done better, like sequence things better. Okay, let's talk about the deck, because I think this deck is sick. Let's actually organize the deck in a way that we can look at the deck list a little bit better. Okay, that looks a lot better, right? So, I think this deck is sick. I think this deck is actually really sick because I don't know how many times this actually happened. If opponent tries to bring answers for Goblin Charbelcher, they get run down by Grief, Sheoldred, Orcish Bowmaster, or even Bogart Troller. I think that is really sick because now we have a different game plan that we can work towards even if the Goblin Charbelcher gets shut down. I think that is sick. And I don't know if the deck actually wants more copies of Besiege the Mirror, but I think one of the more popular cards at the moment is Deafening Silence because there's a lot of Boros energy at the moment. Boros energy, Mardu energy, they're gonna have some copies of Deafening Silence in the sideboard, which makes Besiege the Mirror a lot worse. Or something like Dark Ritual. I think you play maximum maybe like 2 copies of Besiege the Mirror. I think Besiege the Mirror is sick because even if your Necrodominance or Necropotence gets shut down, you can sacrifice these cards to the Besiege the Mirror. So there is probably a reason to play more copies of Besiege the Mirror, but that's going to be up to you. And I really like the fact that we can go Grief, bait out a counterspell, into a Charbelcher in a single turn, or let's say you Grief so that you can get cards out of the way so you can safely land something like Necropotence, Necrodominance, things like that. And although Sheoldred doesn't quite let you gain life with the Necropotence, it does let you gain life with Necrodominance, which is something that we could have done if my opponent didn't Raptor into Goblin Bombardment. So, opponent got very lucky there, but I think this is actually really sick. Got a Necrodominance plus Sheoldred. This is something that Modern has been doing as of recent. But generally, the Necropotence is just going to be a better card just because you get to keep 7-card hand. Since you're going to be losing a lot of cards in your turn with Grief, Grief into Charbelcher, or Grief into March of the Wretched Sorrow, so keeping a 7-card hand with Necropotence is just going to be a lot better than Necrodominance. But I do like the fact that we can play our 5th and 6th copy of Necropons as a Necrodominance, because there's some fringe cases where this could be better with something like Sheoldred. And one last thing to mention is Necrodominance puts every card that hits the graveyard into exile. So that does in fact turn off Reanimate and Malakir's Rebirth. So this is actually something that you need to watch out if you want to go Necrodominance first. You have to watch out if you have Grief with Reanimates and Malakir's Rebirth in your hand. Because if you do have Necrodominance with these cards like this, maybe you're supposed to actually Grief first. Other than that, the deck can't play Thoughtseize, obviously, because this deck only plays Bolt lands, dealing 3 damage to you. So we're playing 4 copies of Inquisition Kozilek, and even in sideboard, we're playing 2 copies of Duress, right? And another tech here that I like is we're playing Mihawk Massacre instead of other board wipes like such as Path of Peril, even though we do have a copy of Path of Peril. The reason why I like it is we have actually seen it from one game where we Dark Ritualed into a Mihawk Massacre. This is a strong combo versus Boros Energy. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you gain 1 life. So you're going to be gaining life while also wiping out opponent's boards. So this is actually really sick. But just in case if you don't have Dark Ritual, there's some fringe cases where Path of Peril can be good, right? So let's say opponent has Guide of Souls. If the Guide of Souls juiced up another card, and it has too many counters, and the toughness is just too much for the Mihawk Massacre to handle, that's when Path of Peril can become a lot better. So just in case we are playing Path of Peril, so we have 2 copies of Mihawk Massacres plus Path of Peril. And against Show and Tell, we are playing 3 copies of Vexing Bauble. Even though the Vexing Bauble does hit the Grief, right? We can still Dark Ritual into Grief. And if the opponent has Leyline of Sanctity, Vexing Bauble is there to stall until you can win with some of your beatdowns. With the Sheoldred, Orcish Bowmasters, Bogart Trawler, and Grief, right? So we got the beatdowns here with the Vexing Bauble stalling until you win the game. Because you're not going to be able to beat Leyline of Sanctity. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.